It's time for Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero. When it comes to news on 95.1 FM, weather always comes first. An area of low pressure off the Northern California Pacific Northwestern coast will be moving slowly southward today and tomorrow to a position off the Central to Southern California coast. This storm will be spreading additional moderate to heavy precipitation amounts into Northern California and southwestern Oregon over the next couple of days. It's also going to bring the potential for additional snowfalls 1 to 2 feet from the southern Oregon Cascades into the northern Sierras. Now, while these totals will be much less than the previously more long-lasting storm, travel will remain difficult and the additional heavy snows will exacerbate recovery from the first storm. Winter storm warnings are in effect for the northern Sierra, Northern California Coast Range, and southern Oregon for additional heavy snow amounts. Closer to home, sunny skies today, cloudy tomorrow, windy conditions will return on Thursday afternoon. Patchy blowing dust will reduce visibility in a few areas. Loose outdoor objects are going to be blown around. Scattered lowland rain showers and light mountain snows are possible on Friday, and that may result in slick roadways and mountain passes. We'll have another look at the weather following this news. New Mexico Trinity nuclear bomb test victims are going to be represented at the upcoming State of the Union speech. Ahead of a Senate vote on the Radiation Exposure Compensation Act, U.S. Senator Ben Ray Lujan announced that Tina Cordova, the co-founder of the Tularosa Basin Downwinders Consortium, will be his guest for President Biden's State of the Union address.
I have been working for 19 years to bring attention to the negative health effects suffered by the people of New Mexico as a result of being overexposed to radiation from the Trinity test. People in New Mexico have been suffering and dying for, it'll be 79 years this year, without any kind of recognition, acknowledgement, or compensation, while the U.S. government for 34 years has had a fund set up that has been compensating people in other places who are referred to as downwinders, just hasn't been taking care of us. Because of that work, Senator Lujan has invited me to come to D.C. because over the last year, we've gained as much attention and traction as we've ever had in all the years I've been working on this.
Cordova speaking with Crazy Radio.
This is an incredible opportunity to speak about the Radiation Exposure Compensation Act with anybody who will listen, members of Congress as an example, the president if there's a possibility for that, to speak to them about this, lobby them for this, and get support so that we can finally bring justice back to the people of New Mexico who've been ignored for 79 years.
Cordova went on to tell me that they now have the number of needed votes to push this through, so perhaps this wrong can finally be righted. You can hear this interview in its entirety on the Crazy Radio YouTube channel. Oliver Lee Memorial State Park invites you to Saturday night star party presented by the Alamogordo Astronomers Group. We spoke with Kate German.
It starts at 7 o'clock. They usually have several telescopes set out. This month, they're focusing on Jupiter, and there's a lot of galaxies that they can see.
For more information, call 575-437-8284. The Alamogordo Recreation Center presents Spring Fling. Children will enjoy various recreational and educational activities during this 5-day camp, which occurs during spring break. Campers will be separated into 2 groups, elementary and middle school ages. Heather Casebolt told me all about it.
We have kindergarten through 5th grade, and then we also have 6th grade through 8th grade. And those are $100 per kid per week. They each have a field trip planned. They'll do a game club, an art club. They'll go outside, play sports. We play in the gym. So we just try to keep them really active, doing a bunch of different activities.
Now, kids must bring their own lunches, but an afternoon snack will be provided. 575-439-4142 if you want some more info. The New Mexico Department of Transportation will have a single-lane closure tomorrow on US 82 from milepost 6 to milepost 8. I spoke with construction engineer Michael Smelker.
Basically, we're going to do a study that they're going to give us some options on how to assist in the mitigation of the rock falls and the rock stabilization along that corridor.
Drivers can expect a single-lane closure with pilot car operation between 9 to 3, but it's only going to be for tomorrow. The Tularosa National Honor Society Pancake Breakfast will be taking place on March 16th. We spoke with Melanie Boussier.
So this is National Honor Society's last big fundraiser of the year, and we are hosting our second pancake breakfast of the year. We had a great turnout in October. We'd like to see everybody out again, so we're offering 3 different types of pancakes: plain, chocolate chip and blueberry, scrambled eggs, and your choice of sausage or bacon, or if you want a piece of each, go for it, at $10 a plate.
Pickup begins at 7. It wraps up at 9. If you have any questions, call 575-585-8866. Well, today is Tuesday. It's time for an introspection with our good friend, Pastor Johnny Walker.
Hey, this is Johnny Walker with this week's introspection. Just a little sunshine to put in your pocket. In the busy streets between headlines and deadlines, our nation has become consumed with the idea of nation building. We're constantly striving to make our mark on the world, to assert our power and dominance, and to shape the future in our image. But in our relentless pursuit of progress and success, we have lost sight of a greater purpose, a higher calling that transcends borders and boundaries. We have become so engrossed in our own opinions, in our own agendas and ideologies that we have forgotten the most fundamental truth of all, that we are here to spread God's love. Our focus has shifted away from building a heavenly kingdom, from cultivating a world of compassion, kindness, and grace. Instead, we have become mired in disagreements, divisions, and discord. It's time for us to reset, to refocus our energies and attention on what truly matters. It is time for us to let God arise in our hearts and in our minds, to allow His love to guide us in all that we do. Only then can we hope to build a world that is truly worth living in, a world that reflects the beauty and the wonder of His creation. So let us cast aside our petty grievances and differences. Let us come together in unity and in love, united in our shared desire to spread God's light to all corners of the earth. Let us be bearers of His message, the messengers of His grace. Let us reset, refocus, and let God arise. Only then can we hope to truly make a difference in this world, to create a kingdom that transcends all boundaries and divisions. It's been good today. God bless you, God keep you, and we hope to hear from you and see you again soon. We'll be back Tuesday for next week's introspection. And if you need to see us before that, we'll be back in Sunday morning worship, 10:30, 3001 Thunder Road, New Covenant Worship Center. Be blessed. This is Pastor Johnny Walker on Crazy Radio.
News from around the state in just a moment. This is Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero.
Local news from local perspectives from local voices. AlamogordoTownNews.com. Local sports, local events, and local happenings, and more. Owned and operated by Second Life Media. We are Otero County. AlamogordoTownNews.com. Heard daily on Crazy KALH Radio 95.1.
Directory Plus is the right size book. It's the book if you need a phone book.
That's what just one person has to say about Directory Plus. With its red cover, features, colorful yellow pages, and lots more, it's no wonder people all over use Directory Plus.
It has so much more information. You can cross-check phone numbers or addresses or pretty much anything.
Look on the plus side, Directory Plus.
I'm a big fan of Directory Plus.
Samantha Burnsom, a 14-year-old Las Cruces High School student, was killed this past Friday as a result of a car crash. Barson was on her way to a club volleyball tournament in Midland, Texas, when the accident took place. No other details have been released at this time. New Mexico's highest court has reversed the decision from the Court of Appeals, who reversed a decision of a conviction for manufacturing child pornography. The decision from the New Mexico Supreme Court means that David Rail from Los Alamos will have his conviction reinstated. Rail was sentenced to 9 years in prison for multiple counts of manufacturing child pornography and a single count of distribution and a count of possession of child pornography. That was in 2017, but the Court of Appeals later overturned his convictions. The argument behind that overturn was that there was insufficient evidence to prove that Rail intended to violate state law. He contends that he inadvertently downloaded the child pornography. The state Supreme Court says there was enough evidence to uphold the conviction, so now the case goes back to the district court for reinforcement of the judgment and the original sentence. 4 New Mexico law enforcement officers are facing criminal charges after they were accused of circulating an explicit video of a co-worker. 3 of those named in the complaint are Lee County deputies Sergeant Sonia Estrada, Deputy Diana Gerardo Garcia, and Deputy Eileen Vizcarra. Jao Police Department Officer Alyssa Porras has also been charged. According to court documents, the four got a hold of a nude video of the victim, who is also a Lee County deputy. Investigators say they used a track phone wireless phone in order to send the video to the wife of another deputy, claiming the victim and that deputy were having an affair. The video was also sent to the victim's husband, chief deputies in the department, and the sheriff himself. The four are facing the misdemeanor charge of unauthorized distribution of sensitive images. An inmate at the Cibola County Correctional Center was found dead in his cell Tuesday night. Facility staff and first responders were unable to revive the inmate, and he was pronounced dead at the jail. The identity of this inmate has not yet been released, but an investigation into the death is currently underway. A couple of weeks ago, we discussed the Albuquerque Police Chief Harold Medina being involved in a car crash near a shooting.
I looked up and I could hear that a shot had been fired, and I saw an individual that was holding a firearm, pointing it at another individual who was directly in line with my wife.
Now, two Albuquerque City Councilors, Louis Sanchez and Dan Champagne, are proposing a multi-agency investigation.
So that it's handled by someone other than the administration, someone other than the police chief that actually is in charge of that department.
There have been concerns that Medina did not follow APD protocol, which requires officers to turn on lapel cameras and carry the proper equipment. Sanchez explained as much to KAYT.
It's imperative that the city has transparency in regards to this investigation. The mayor should have immediately called for this investigation. So we waited, and it never happened.
A multi-agency investigation would include personnel from state police, Bernalillo County Sheriff's Office, and other officers from the APD.
We have a pending federal lawsuit with the DWI officers, which is dealing with corruption. We have a DOJ investigation set with Albuquerque Police Department, and now we have a questionable accident by the police chief. Yes, this should be done.
Even if the city councilors vote in favor of this, it's ultimately up to the mayor. Both the APD and the mayor's office declined to comment further. The Governor's Veterans Advisory Council will host their next quarterly meeting on March 13th.
The 13th over at the State Veterans Home. Yes, sir.
Ray Diva speaking with Crazy Radio. And the Veterans Home in Truth or Consequences is located at 992 South Broadway. The meeting will be at 9 a.m. The council is made up of veterans and individuals with expertise in veterans issues.
They set the agenda. You know, they're all appointed by the governor, and they work independently of us. And then whatever it is their findings, they will then present to us to help us do our job better, basically.
Veterans, family members, and the public are invited to attend to provide input. More information is available by calling 505-362-6089. Sports and weather are next. This is Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero.
They are role models and educators. Their work requires a great deal of time and energy for very little pay. Who are these unsung heroes?
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
The simple truth about education-based athletics in New Mexico is this. Without a committed team of coaches and administrators, they just wouldn't be possible. School sports, they bring out the best in all of us. This message presented by the New Mexico Activities Association and the New Mexico Athletic Directors Association.
There are 15 games for New Mexico softball today, including Alamogordo at Artesia. Go, Lady Tigers. There are 11 games for New Mexico baseball today, including Gadsden at Deming. Your Crazy Radio spot on weather forecast for the Tularosa Basin today calls for sunny skies, partly cloudy tonight, mostly cloudy tomorrow, with winds gusting as high as 18 miles per hour. Your high today in the basin, 67, low tonight of 45, high tomorrow, 66 degrees. In Cloudcroft, mostly sunny skies with winds gusting as high as 18 miles per hour, partly cloudy tonight with winds gusting as high as 22, mostly cloudy tomorrow, winds gusting as high as 30. Your high today in Cloudcroft, 46, low tonight of 32, high tomorrow, 44 degrees. Local breaking news can be found on our website, alamogordotownnews.com. And you can learn more about Crazy Radio by visiting KALHradio.org. Also, check out the Crazy KALH Radio YouTube channel. That's where we post our daily newscasts, complete interviews, and other information which concerns everyone in the Tularosa Basin. Be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to our channel if you've not done so already. That way you too can remain informed of the goings-on in the Tularosa Basin. Well, that concludes today's edition of Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero.